so that we can talk about some of our data really quick, so you can use this in your listing presentations and your buyer consultations. Just anytime you need data, I want you to have it. So I know you guys are all ready to go. And okay, perfect. So in Texas, you guys, right this second, we have 85 agents, 85 agents. And those agents, ooh, let's see. Yes. Oh man, it bothers me when people come on with like a not muted. Just so you guys know, like in your Zoom preferences, you can like go to the preferences, and then every time it'll tell you, do I go on, like when I join a Zoom, do I just go in with no video and no voice? And that's what you want to click, because then it makes you look so professional. It's awesome. So 85 agents, you guys are carrying 65 listings, 65 listings being carried right now. You guys are representing, like signed representations, 328 buyers right now. Insane. 328 buyers. These 85 agents have pended or have under pending right now. They're under contract, 247 under contracts, 247 under contract. And get ready for this. This is a record. Those 247 pendings, you guys, $104 million in volume, $104 million in volume. That is the first time we have ever hit like 100 million plus pending. It means that we are growing. It means that like you can see like our agent count hasn't been like hugely like different like all year. I mean, we've had like, you know, plus or minus like 5 agents all year, but your pendings are like plus minus like 20-30%. So that means you guys are doing a whole lot of production, right? Closed 328 closed, 328 units closed year to date. If you do the math on that, you guys, that is 2.6 homes per day. 2.6 homes per day you guys are selling right now in Texas. Make sure people know how powerful you are. Closings right now that we have closed, you guys, it's only been like 126 days into the year. It's just 126 days into the year. You guys have already closed $113 million in volume. 113 million in volume. So it's pretty legit. The average price, $345,000. The average price of your pendings though, listen to this, $421,000. So you can see just like between closings and pendings, like the difference is like what, 30, 60 days, 345 to 421. It's pretty impressive. And altogether, I'm going to end with our GCI. GCI is important for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's how all of our agents get paid. Number 2, it's how all of our teams get to pay their expenses, right? Our total GCI for the year, you guys, $3.2 million. That means our agents have closed 1.6 million and have put it in their bank account, right? Highest paying teams out there. So I'm really excited from that perspective today to talk to our powerful team and bring on another powerful person, Greigg, who I feel like I've known you since I joined the company. You're like one of the originals, right?
I suppose I am.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will be my 6-year anniversary here with the company. So,
oh man, we got you good. We got it's practically an anniversary present.
Thank you. It is, absolutely. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so walk us back. First of all, like give us a synopsis of what you do today, kind of what your business was like last year, and then walk us back to like when you started on the Ben Kinney team. What did that look like? And then just take it away and do your thing.
Okay, let's do it. Well, good morning, everybody. Like Adelina said, my name is Greigg. I'm here in Bellingham, Washington. Like I said, tomorrow will be my 6-year anniversary with the Ben Kinney team. I was not in any other brokerages or companies before this team. So I started my real estate career with the team and have been here ever since. Snapshot of last year. Last year, I officially became the co-team leader of our Bellingham office with my partner, Anthony Zapata, who's been with our team for about 8 years. And in addition to our regular sales business, we became the co-team leaders, which meant we were responsible for managing about 30 agents in our Bellingham office, our Bellingham hub. And obviously that was a big challenge that I was looking forward to doing. Behind me, you guys might see what's called my mind map. I brought this down here. I sat with Jolene and planned out kind of like what my perfect 5 years would look like about 5 years ago. And it's all right behind me. And if I was to go through that with you guys, it would see on there, like up in the top corner over there, it says local manager. That was a goal of mine. Like the first year that I got into real estate, I said, this is like really cool. And I really love this team. And I wonder if I could shoot to a goal of becoming a manager of this team. And it took me like 5 years, but last year I officially signed on to doing that. And Anthony and I officially led that team last year, in addition to doing my own sales. So my sales team is myself and my business partner, whose name is also Ryan. It's very easy to remember. He's been with me 4 years. He is my ace, I call him, but he's my buyer's agent. And together with him and I, we did about 24 million in volume. We sold 58 homes. So just the two of us, we did 58 homes for about 24 million in volume. And that was my 5th full year in real estate. In addition to that, Anthony and I led our Bellingham office, and we did just under 400 closed transactions in the Bellingham office. So we were responsible to help agents get productive. And that's one thing that I really love to do. Since I've been doing this for a few years, one of my duties now is to just simply give back. And I made a joke the other day because I got a paycheck for a pending and a couple other agents on our teams got paychecks. And I joked and I said, seeing my agents on my team get paychecks actually does a lot more than me even getting these paychecks anymore. It's like, it's really cool to see that. So that's a little snapshot of me of where I'm at today. But let's go back because it hasn't always been this good. It's been a lot to get here. So I guess let's start where I started. Before we do that though, Adelina, usually when I do meetings, I get a little bit of inspiration from the team by getting like some wins and then like hearing some of people's goals. You guys are just totally crushing it in Austin. But if it's okay, Adelina, could I have like 1 or 2 people unmute? Someone that's like in this, that's just crushing it. Share a win with me, get me inspired. Cause you guys, you're 2 hours ahead of me. It's freaking early here in Bellingham. And even though I get up really early, I would love to get some energy from you guys. So if somebody could just unmute and share like a win with me, what was something that really cool that happened yesterday or this last couple of days in your guys' business or in your personal life? Just give me 1 or 2 to get me excited.
All at once.
I'll go for it.
Yes.
Got a listing agreement signed last night and we beat out 5 other agents. So I was the 5th agent to interview and they signed the listing agreement the same night, the first time we met.
That is amazing, Jonathan. Nice work. I love it when I go on a listing appointment and they sign on the spot. If I walk out of a house and I don't have signed listing paperwork, I'm like a dog with my tail between my legs and I hate it. So nice work on getting that done. But sometimes we don't always get them right. And that's why we're going to talk about follow-up a little later. Give me 1 more, guys. That's awesome, Jonathan. Nice work. 5 other agents. That's amazing. Give me 1 more, guys, and then we'll jump in.
Yvette, Joseph, and myself did our 1,000 dials this week.
Nice. 1,000 dials. That's amazing, Tracy. How was it? Was it as bad as you thought it was going to be?
It wasn't actually. It was pretty good to do it like with them and giving each other moral support. It was way scarier thinking about it than actually doing it. So we're happy we got that over with.
Yeah, did you guys all hear that? It's like most of real estate, it was way scarier thinking about it than actually just doing it. Sometimes we think so much, we just don't do anything because we're just thinking about doing it. We just got to jump in and do it. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. It really inspires me to hear what other people are doing, to hear people crushing the 1,000 dials, to hear people taking listings in competitive situations. So thank you for giving me some energy because I need it. It's early here. I've got my coffee and I'm an early person. I get up just before 5 o'clock every day. I have a very strict morning routine that I follow. I call my mom at 5:30. We meditate for a half hour. Then I do my journaling process. Then I do my reading. Typically at this time, I'm in my gym, but I'm sacrificing my gym time this morning to be with you guys. So I need a lot of energy from you guys, okay?
I love it.
After the gym time, I just get up and get ready to go to the office. And I'm at the office by 8 o'clock for our power up at 8:30. And I've usually been up for like 3 or 4 hours when most people are just getting up for an hour or two. So my pregame is really important to me. And that would be a conversation for another time. If you guys want to talk morning routine and really kicking your morning routine into gear, that's something that I'm super passionate about, but that's for another call. So let's jump back 6 years. literally 6 years tomorrow. I walked into the Bellingham office knowing nothing about real estate. I didn't even know who Ben Kinney was. I didn't know who Jolene was. I was actually ready to go work at Windermere Real Estate, which over here is one of the biggest companies. They might not be as present over there. But go back a little bit, and my previous career was a DJ. I was born in Sonoma, California, which is, as many of you know, is the wine country. When I was like 13, 14, I fell in love with reggae music and the Caribbean culture. And that became my life. It became my passion. It was what I was really passionate about, was Caribbean music, reggae music, and playing that music. And then I went to college. I moved from California to Seattle 2001. I went to college and I got a degree in environmental education because I've always been passionate about working with kids and teaching. And it was funny how that then has now reapplied into teaching in a lot of ways. So I got my degree in environmental education. During that time, I was a DJ. And it turned out DJing was super fun and it paid pretty darn well. So even though I graduated with a degree, I continued to DJ, and that became my career, and that became a full-time career. And it became a lot of fun. But it just got to this point where, I don't know, I kind of grew up and I had a kid. His name is Bentley. He's 9 now. And when I was DJing, I was staying out really late at night and I was traveling like all over the world because I was also doing artist and tour management. I just realized like, this is not the father I want to be. Like, I'm not going to be present for my son if I keep doing this. I have to sleep in when he's waking up. And I decided it was time to make a change. So with the advice of some people in my life, I got into real estate. They were like, Ryan, you're good with people and you're driven. Like, I started this DJ company. I built that company up. We became the #1 DJ crew on the West Coast for artist and tour management. And they said, like, you're pretty good at this. And I always joke because my dad was a car salesman and my mom owns a promotional business. So sales is kind of in my blood. And I just jumped right in. I went and got licensed. I actually got licensed while I was on tour in San Diego. I was on a 3-week-long West Coast tour with 2 Jamaican artists. And I finished my license and I jumped into real estate. And I was about to go sign at Windermere and someone said, hey, you should go check out Keller Williams. And I ended up meeting with Jolene and I was like, wow, Jolene is very different from this Windermere company. And they said, like, you got to learn about this Ben Kinney guy. Like, he's pretty neat. And I honestly had no idea who he was. And then I started to find out and I was like, I think this home is a better fit for me than Windermere. So fast forward and I get started. And like I said, my previous career was a DJ. And when I was working before, my ex-wife's mother was going to be the one that would watch our son during the day, because during the day I was now working, right? I used to work at night and I would watch my son during the day. Well, now I couldn't do that anymore. So I started in May and she was very nice to watch our son during the day. The problem was, guys, was that a month later, she got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and she got given just a couple months to live. And so my first month in real estate, my life got completely flipped upside down. And we got this unexpected bad news and we couldn't do what we thought we were going to be able to do just like a month after I started. And guys, the reason I'm sharing this is because I'm just telling you a little bit about my journey. And I know everybody on this call has a story and has hard times in life. So I'm not saying my story is harder than yours. It's not our story that defines us though. It's how we get through it. And that's why I'm sharing this stuff. So she gets diagnosed with stage 4 cancer the first month I'm in real estate. My wife then decides at the time that we weren't going to be together anymore. So her and I separate a couple months later. Life is not going very well, guys. And I'm in real estate trying to make things work. And my mother-in-law is diagnosed with cancer. My ex-wife now decides we're not going to be together anymore. And then fast forward just a month later to August. And I'm still DJing a little bit because I don't have any money. And I'm DJing a wedding. And it's about an hour away from here. And I DJ this wedding and it's a really fun event. And I had been drinking some wine. And after that night, I drove home and I fell asleep while I was driving. And I woke up upside down on the freeway. And I almost died. I probably should have died, but thank God I didn't. I sat in jail that night. And that was the last day I ever drank. And then my wife decided at the time, we're definitely not together anymore. And my life was just crumbling left and right. And I was just going, I don't think real estate's for me. Like, in fact, I don't think anything is for me. And I walked into Jalene's office in tears and I was like, she's going to fire me. Like, I am a total F up. And she just looked at me and said, Ryan, you need to take some time off. Take some time off. Take as much time as you need. I don't care if it's a day or a week or a month, but I believe in you and I want you to come back when you're ready. And I took that weekend off, and that was in November of 2015. And I think the combination of like, okay, life is giving me every possible test right now, and I can either just quit or I can buck up and go for it. Plus, like, Jalene didn't even know me. And for some reason, she believed in me and she gave me this grace. And I was like, why is this woman doing this? This is really cool. I'm going to go for this. And I went 100% for it. And I said, Jalene, I need you to tell me everything to do. I was trying to create this system of my own, guys, and it was so stupid. Like, we have this model and all I had to do was follow it. And she said, just follow this, just do this, just do this. And I said, all right. And I would do that and I would do that. And I said, what else can I do? What else can I do? Who else can I hang out with? Who's taking listings right now? Where can I go? And she'd say, okay, do this. Okay, do this. And I'd say, what else? And what else? And what else? And I'm always at the office. I'm there 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. every freaking day, every freaking night. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve. And guys, come January 2016, I had like 15 pendings. In February, I had like 14 pendings. And like my first full year in real estate, I closed 45 deals. And I stopped DJing and I realized, oh my gosh, I think I can do this. And everyone, like, I wasn't even looking, like, I was just going. I was like a horse with the blinders on, just going. I had no idea if 45 deals was good or bad, and it turned out it was like really freaking good. And like, I did like 11 million in volume my first year, and that was really good. All these things were really good. And I said, wow, I think I can do it. And my ego kind of blew up and I was like, I'm the man, like, this is freaking awesome. And that started to slow me down. Right. And I got in my own way, and I just wanted to like make as much money as possible. And I realized I was doing things for the wrong reasons. And that caught up with me and I burnt out. I burnt out like most people will, like 16, 18 months in, I burnt out. And I did what any reasonable human being did when they burn out. I went to Burning Man. I went to Burning Man and I went and hung out with my friends. Because guys, I gave up on my friends. I had no friends. I had nobody. All I cared about was making money in real estate. And that was cool, but I realized that was not what life was all about. And I had to reconnect with myself and with my friends. So I went to Burning Man and I took almost 2 months off my second year in real estate. And I closed, I think, 42 deals that year, but I worked a lot less. And I was okay with that. The other great thing that happened during that time, guys, was this young buck named Ryan started with our company as an intern. And Ryan would just come up to me every day because I was the guy that was closing the most deals. And he would say, hey, I'm done with all my intern stuff. Can I help you with anything? And I'd be like, no, dude, I'm good. Next day, hey, can I help you with anything? No, man, I'm good. Next day, hey. And finally I'd say, yeah, go do this. Yeah, go do that. And he'd come back and say, hey, I did that. What else can I do? And I'd say, shoot, I don't know. Go do this. And he would just do all this stuff. And then he'd be like, hey, can I come shadow an open house with you? And finally I realized, like, this kid's super sharp. And this kid really is driven. It's Burning Man, not Burning Man. Sounds like some of you guys know what Burning Man is and some of you guys don't. Just look it up. So Ryan Randall joined me 4 years ago. He started as an intern. He moved his way up to my assistant, and now I call him my ace. We're going to talk more about that later, guys, because leverage is something that's going to be really important for you guys as you're growing your business. And I know some of you guys have leveraged your teams already. So that's a little picture of my first year in real estate, guys, was like all this crazy stuff happens. All these negative things happen. All these boom, 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 kicking me down. And I'm like, okay, this is awesome. February, I got 14 pendings. March, I got, like, I'm closing. This is great. Then I get the call from my dad. And he's like, Ryan, I have cancer. And I'm like, shh, dang it. Like, what the heck? And then a couple months later, he passes away. And I'm just like, dude, come on, life. Like, what are you doing to me here? And guys, I realized it's freaking life. Like, it's life. like people aren't born every day without people dying every day. And you're going to crash, whether it's physically or like metaphorically. And like you might break up in a relationship. But the good news is, guys, I just got remarried in December to like the most amazing woman in the world now. So that divorce back then that was so hard on me, look at how beautiful it is now, right? Those losses at the time don't define us. Our story doesn't define us. How we come out of that story defines us. So my dad passed away, and I was just, I realized at that point, okay, this is called life. Things are going to happen. But you know what? I have so much good things in my life. And I flipped the switch. And I just realized like the bad things are going to happen, but what about all the good things that are happening? And I started practicing gratitude every day. This is my journal, guys. I write in a journal every day. I have a whole bookshelf of journals on that wall. And one of the first things that I do every day is I write 10 things that I'm grateful for. Not just one, because I can't even pick just one. Come on. If you guys are grumpy, start writing what you're grateful for. And write 1, and then write 2, and then write 3, and then write 4, and then get up to 10, and then do that every day. And you'd be surprised what will happen. So part of my morning routine is that journaling process. I write 10 things that I'm grateful for, guys, and then I write my intentions, because just like this mind map behind me, I need a roadmap of where I'm going every day. This is my 5-year plan, but what the heck am I going to do today? So I wanted to share with you guys what I wrote. If that's okay, could I share with you guys what I wrote for my intentions for today?
Yes. Give us examples. I love that.
So I wrote my 10 gratitude, right? And this is a process of journaling that I created. It's an acronym called TIDE, TIDE. We're thankful. We write our intentions. We delegate out to the universe what we're thankful for before it even happens. And then we write one thing we'll be exceptional at for the E, for the day. Okay. So today, guys, I wrote my intentions for the day are I uplift and inspire everyone I come into contact with. I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I'm free of pain. I lead by example, and I lead with love. I am free of any negative energy. I am approachable and likable. I take action and get results. I embrace the awkward silence because I talk too much. And I ask great questions. I easily and effortlessly help 10 cool people each month buy or sell real estate. And I also help 10 people, each help 2 to 3 people reach their goals and dreams by buying and selling real estate. I am an amazing father, son, brother, friend, husband, and realtor. So I write that down, guys. And that's who I am now because I just wrote that down and I believe in myself. So our intentions for the day, are we intentional with every single phone call we make? Right? We have the blessing and the curse of the Brivity dialer. I freaking love the dialer. It's so awesome because it lets me just power through. Every once in a while, though, I get on coast mode and I start making unintentional dumb calls. We have to be intentional with our calls and make smart calls like Ben would say, and look at what they're doing. Hey, Melissa, I'm calling because I noticed you looked at that home I sent you over on Main Street and I'm going to be over there today. Should we go take a look at it at 3 or do you want to go at 5? Like we make smart calls, we make intentional calls, right? So let's fast forward a little bit. We talked about my story and the hard parts of life. And we talked a little bit about kind of the story not defining you, but getting through that and knowing when these things happen, that's okay. Because guys, I firmly believe the universe is a give and a take, right? And when something bad happens to us, if we just sit there and think, oh my gosh, all this bad stuff happens to me, why? What's going to come to us? More freaking bad stuff. But Tracy, when we sit there and we're like, okay, I don't sit here and think, why me? I sit here and think, try me. Bring it on, universe. That's okay. I just need a little bit of a test right now. Oh, Ryan, you think you're cool? You think you want to get into real estate and be this top successful realtor? Let me give you a couple tests first to make sure you really want this. Anybody else ever felt that? Like, I'm going to get into real estate. I'm going to freaking kill it. Like, it's my time to shine. The last few years have been hard as heck. But you know what? I'm in real estate now. I got my freaking suit and tie. I'm going to kill it now. And all of a sudden, day one, you get smacked in the face. You're like, dang, this wasn't so easy. Well, that's just the universe making sure you guys really want this. Just like anything in life, like nothing good comes easy. So we got to make sure that when those hard things come, it's just a reminder. It's just kind of a thank you, like, oh yeah, I'm on the right path because I'm getting these tests. And I'm going to pass this test. And I've had enough tests in my life to just know that that's okay. Bring it on. Like bring it on. It's all right. There's so many good things. I don't worry about the negative. So now, guys, it's a different game for me. When I got into real estate, it was, let me talk to as many people as possible. Let me close as many deals as possible. Let me make as much money as possible. And I was freaking selfish. I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I wasn't doing it for the service of others. And that's when the magic will happen, guys, is when we start doing things out of service for others. When we start to give so much, it's amazing what will come back to us. And we start to give from our hearts and we don't expect anything back. That's when the good's going to come, guys, is when we just give and we believe in our people and we believe in ourselves. So I wanted to remind you guys that you're going to get tested and don't let those knock you down. Or if they do knock you down, just brush yourself off and get back up. And sometimes, guys, you're going to need to take some time off. Sometimes you might need to go out to the desert to a music festival with your friends and disconnect for a week. That's okay. Real estate is a career. It's not a freaking job. Like if you need to take a day off and come back stronger tomorrow, you call Adelina and say, Adelina, I'm having a rough day. Like my wife and I had a tough talk and I wanted to fill you in because I know you care about me. And I'm not just going to not show up tomorrow, but I just needed to let you know I got to take some personal time tomorrow so I can come back stronger the next day. Right? Okay, enough about me and my story. I want to talk a little bit about tactics with you guys because the story's cool, but I want to give you guys some takeaways. So if you got some pens and some notes, we can grab that. I want to give you guys some stuff that we can act on because your guys' stats are freaking amazing. Congratulations, Adelina and your guys' team for being the #1 team in the entire Place network for closed volume, I think. Right, Adelina?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm really proud about, I'm proud of all of our people. Austin definitely took the top spot, but then I look and I see like all of our Texas teams are top 10 in the entire network. And I'm like, boom, that is amazing because we didn't all start at the same time, right? The Midland team started later than us, right? Jordan joined us, I think, like last year, right? Sarissa's team has been here for a little while. And it's so nice to see like this top 10 be covered by Texas teams. And so, and we've always been chasing you guys, Ryan. Like Bellingham has been, you know, you guys are pace setters and we appreciate like having pace setters to see like, it's very inspirational to me to see what's possible. And I'm really proud of that. And so I appreciate you sharing tactics so that we can all get better faster.
Hey, Adelina and Ryan, can we take a minute and share ahas? Because I feel like Ryan just shared a really powerful story of overcoming something probably a lot of agents that join our partnership and are used to the chaos. And you shared a very powerful story of somebody who took a chance on you and kept pointing you north and overcoming resistance and all that. Like, could we share ahas from that?
I love that. Yes. Do you have an aha?
Yes,
you want to start us off?
absolutely. But I got to add on to that real quick because
Yes.
Jordan, you probably heard this, Adelina, you might as well, but just about the loyalty and Jolene investing in me. Guys, when my dad died, Ben was one of the first people that I called because I didn't have a wife anymore, right? I didn't have anybody. And I called Ben and I was in tears and I said, dude, my dad died because his mom had passed like a month before that. And he said, let's go for a hike, brother. And he took me out and we went to the woods and we went for a hike for a few hours. And that was in my first year. I didn't even know Ben. And Jolene bet on me and Ben bet on me. And that's just one of like a million reasons, guys, why I am unrecruitable. Like Ben and Jolene have had my back from day one. And I am super loyal and respectful because of that. So ahas, please, Jordan and anybody else.
One of mine is that you kept showing up. Like the office is an environment that's positive, that moves you forward, that you can be extremely productive in, and you kept showing up. And you were like super clear on what you wanted for your 5-year plan. You asked Jolene for help on that. It got super clear. And then you just kept showing up. And that's half the battle every day. Like some days surviving is winning, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And the cool thing is when we show up, when we walk in those doors of our office, we can leave all that baggage outside. Just leave all the baggage outside and show up. My team is so energetic. And when I show up in there, no matter how hard of a day it was, I show up and I'm like, boom, go time, show time. What other ahas?
For me, it would be just your sense of self-awareness and how you were able to pick that up to realize, you do need to take some time away once you start burning out, or just be able to realize what you do want to do and get your goals in place. So just the self-awareness is really big for me.
Thank you. Yeah. We got to tap into ourselves and realize when we're running low on energy and follow the 15-point plan to keep our energy up, right? Like it's super important to have our energy so we can perform at work, but more importantly, guys, after work. I don't want to work all day and go home. I'm so tired I can't hang out with my wife and my kid. So let's switch gears because we got a lot of info to cover and I got 12 minutes. So I'm going to talk about two things. I want to talk about getting face-to-face, and I want to talk about if we can't get face-to-face, how we need to follow up. Okay. And I know you guys all know that on average, a buyer or a seller is going to work with the first person they meet like 3/4 out of the time, like 75% of the time, Joseph, 75% of the time, Maliana, a buyer and a seller is just going to meet with the first person that they bumped into, the first realtor, 75% of the time, DJ. So Trey, when we're doing open houses, we got to know that if somebody walks in that open house and they just started looking, if we're the first person they met, we got a 75% chance of working with that person. We want to know that. We want to use that. So we want to be doing open houses if we can. I did 3 open houses every freaking week for like 18 months. Now, when we do the open house, guys, it's not good enough because a lot of times you'll meet somebody, Jacob, you'll meet somebody at the open house and yeah, you'll have a good conversation. You might even set the appointment with them right on the spot to go show them a house after that. But if we don't follow up with them after that, what's the point? Why are we going to go spend 2 hours at an open house on a weekend? I don't know about you guys, but I don't get paid an hourly for an open house. Like, I want to turn this into a game. I want every freaking contact piece that I'm going to get. If somebody walks in that door and they walk out, I didn't get their phone number and their email, I am kicking myself so hard because my game is to get their contact info so I can follow up because we know, guys, the sale is often made on the 7th to 12th call. Not the first, not the second, not the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. The sale is often made on the 7th to 12th call, guys. So we have to follow up. We have to follow up. And that was where my business was built. I just stick to people. I say, Adelina, I met you at the open house on Saturday, and I'm so thankful you came to the open house. And I would just be honored to work with you and continue to work with you. It sounds like you're not ready. Would it be okay if I followed up? Would it be okay, Jordan, if I followed up with you? You guys working with for sale by owners? Daniel, it sounds like there's nothing I can do to help you through this week. Hey, I plan to follow up with every single for sale by owner that I talk to every week. Would it be okay if I follow up next week? Claudia, would it be okay if I followed up next week? I told you I'd follow up with you. I'm just calling to follow up with you. And what we're doing, guys, is we're telling people, hey, my word is real. My word is true. Marlene, I told you I would do this and I'm doing it. I told you, Tony, I would do this and I'm doing it. So when we do that 100 times and finally they're ready, Jordan, they're like, Ryan, you've called me 100 times. Thank you. Because what we think is, I'm going to bother this person. I better not call them too much or I'm going to bother this person. Guys, stop that. You're going to bother them if you think you're going to bother them. But if we give them value, which come on, we have so much of. So reasons for follow-up. With a buyer, there's a million. Like, did you see the new listing I sent you? Did you see the new listing I sent you? Are you watching interest rates, guys? I mean, listing alerts, right? We're leveraging our tools, right? Every single buyer better have a listing alert, guys, or Adelina's going to come whoop your butt. Because that's our leverage so that we can follow up. Every single seller better have a market report or Jordan is going to come whoop your butt because that's our leverage to follow up. Brian, I've been sending you that market report. Did you get it? Hey, I'm sorry, Brian. I wanted to apologize because our market reports are super cool, but it might not take into account all the updates and features that you've added. So I wanted to offer a tour for me to come check out your home so I can give you an accurate evaluation. Would today work or would tomorrow be better? So there's a million reasons why we can follow up, guys, but we have to follow up with people because the fortune is in the follow-up. And there's this really cool guy named Charlie Rocket. I'm curious, has anybody on this call ever heard of Charlie Rocket? It's super interesting to me. Remind me at the end, and I'll recommend a couple of people like Charlie Rocket that I enjoy and a couple of books that I enjoy. Remind me at the end, though, if we have time. So Charlie Rocket used to be about 300 pounds. Charlie Rocket came from the music industry just like me. Maybe that's why I like him so much. Charlie Rocket used to manage the rapper 2 Chainz. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of 2 Chainz, Grammy Award-winning rapper. Kind of funny guy, but multi-platinum, multi-millionaire rapper. Charlie Rocket was his manager, okay? So, Charlie Rocket, just like me, would go around music clubs with 2 Chainz and other artists' CDs. And he said, just like I was talking about follow-up, you got to follow up with these people because nobody gives 2 what's about you the first time, right? Like I call somebody, hey, good morning, Adelina. This is Ryan with the Ben Kinney real estate team. I give them my pitch and they're like, who? With what? So Charlie Rocket says, guys, we got to work towards mom status. And you're like, Ryan, what the heck's mom status? Think about it. Claudia, how do you talk to your mom? Adelina, how do you talk to your mom? Tony, how do you talk to your mom? Do we talk to our mom like, hi, my name's Ryan Greigg and I'm with the Ben Kinney real estate team. Hi, mom, would you like to buy our home, buy or sell? No. We talk to her like our mom or just like we talk to our best friend. But we can't just do that on the first call. So Charlie Rocket says it takes about 7 touches to get to mom status. And what that looks like is, in his example, was Farrah, hey, here's a CD from my artist 2 Chainz. And the DJ's like, dude, okay, great, thanks, dude. Second time, hey, here's a CD from my artist 2 Chainz. And he's like, yeah, thanks, Charlie, great, whatever. But he said Charlie's name. Third time, hey, here's a CD from my artist 2 Chainz. All right, yeah, cool, Charlie, thanks, man. Fourth time, before Charlie even comes up, they're like, Charlie, what's up, dude? Fifth time, Charlie goes to give the CD and they're like, I already got the CD, Charlie. Sixth time, Charlie goes to give the CD and they're like, Charlie, this CD is sick. Seventh time, Charlie goes to give the CD and they're buying the CD and they're signing 2 Chainz because Charlie followed up. We need to follow up, guys. We need to get to mom status. I call people so many times, they save my phone number. So when I call them, they're not like, hello. They say, hey, Ryan. That's what we want, guys. When your clients answer the phone, hey, Melissa, you got mom status, Casey. We're a little closer to that mom status. We want that. We want our clients to remember us. We want to be sticky and we never, ever, 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 ever give up on people until they buy or they die. Excuse my terms. And just a couple examples, guys. And why not? We have the tools to do it. Yes, I leave voicemails. 100% I leave voicemails. And it's very simple. It's Elizabeth, this is Ryan with the Ben Kinney real estate team. Please give me a call back. It's simple. I want them to hear my voice though. But just a couple stories and examples. This guy, Richard Bailey, owned this property on Tranquil Lane. Expired listing. Guys, I love expired and canceled listings. He owned this property on Tranquil Lane. I called him once. Nope, Ryan, not selling. Called him twice. Nope, not selling. I called Richard over 100 times, guys. Finally, he said, Ryan, you're freaking persistent and I'm selling and I'm ready. I listed his house. It was about $600,000 and it sold pretty quick. So I made like $8,000, not bad. Then Richard says, well, Ryan, I need you to sell my farm for me now. And I'm like, I had no idea you had a farm, Richard, because I was young and ignorant. I didn't ask him, do you have any other properties to sell? That property still holds the record in Whatcom County for highest price sale of $1.4 million of 79 acres of dirt. Like people laughed at me. They're like, dude, that thing is not worth more than $1 million. No way. I said, well, whatever. And we sold it for 1.4 million. Another story for sale by owner, same exact thing. I called Eric Vittengill over 100 times. He's a salesman though. He'd call me back and say, Ryan, I'm not ready yet, but dude, you're persistent. Sold his $700,000 house. Same thing. Ryan, I need you to sell my lake house now. I didn't know you had a lake house, Eric. Sold his crappy lake house. That was like $15,000 worth of 2 deals, right? So I hope I have reminded you guys that we need to get face-to-face. We need to get face-to-face, Casey, and that might come with an open house. It might come with our 3 real estate principles. Can anybody tell me what those 3 real estate principles are? Somebody unmute and help me out before I call on somebody and make it super awkward. Casey, what's the first one?
Is it say the right thing?
Yes, Adelina. It's
Say
say
it
the
enough
right
times,
thing.
have enough people to say it too.
There we go.
We got to say the right things. And if we got our scripts down, guys, and when we're on the phones, we can get face-to-face. We need to get face-to-face as soon as possible. But if we're not, we follow up. We follow up, we follow up, we follow up. We call, and we ask for the permission to follow up, right? Joseph, hey, sounds like there's not much I can do to help you today. Would it be okay if I follow up? When's a good time? Perfect. And then whatever they say, if it's a long ways out, yeah, Tracy, call me in 6 months. Got it. In brevity, we set the note for 3. We always cut it in half because who knows? And last thing, guys, things are changing and they're changing freaking quick. So whatever somebody told you, cut that in half and then maybe even cut it again and call them and just say, Adelina, I was calling you because I know you told me to call you in a month. But I just talked to 2 of my other sellers. Their renters aren't paying rent right now. And they told me to actually get their property on the market. They weren't even going to sell for 6 months, but people's plans are changing and they're changing quick. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't leaving you hanging at all, Adelina. And people appreciate it.
I'm so excited. When you said mom status in your text to me yesterday, I thought, I was like, I think this is a typo, but I'll just go with it. I don't want to correct Ryan when he's, I mean, he's the guest, right? You don't want to correct your client. You don't want to correct your guest. And I was like, all right, this will be interesting what mom status means. But as I'm listening to you, I get what you're saying about mom status, but something that occurred to me is, sometimes we just like psych ourselves out when we're making calls and we're like, oh my God, we just like build up to this like pressure and stress and like anxiety. When in reality, just pretend like you're even calling your mom. Like, how would you like call, like, if I'm calling like, somebody like DJ and I don't know DJ, I do in real life, which I'm grateful for. But if I didn't know him, I would just pretend like, what if I was calling my brother? How would I what kind of value would I give that person? Don't like overestimate and overthink. And I just love that mindset, like just creating it like human. I love that.
And, really, Joel Rico nailed it yesterday. He said, it's just coming from a place of curiosity, guys. Telling is not selling. We don't want to tell and tell how great we are. I just want to ask DJ what's important to him about that move. What's most important to you about selling your home, Jonathan? Oh, that's interesting. What would that do for you and your family? Oh, that's cool. Oh, you have a son? Oh, I have a son. How old is your son? He's 9? No way. My son's 9. Does he play soccer? My son loves soccer. I'm taking it away from the transaction and connecting to their heart.
Right on, right on. As people are, we're right at our time. Are there any questions? Anybody need to unmute while we have Ryan on the call to ask any questions? And I'll give you a second to think on it and unmute yourself and just go for it. And then I want to make sure that Ryan, think about like if you were coaching our teams, what you would maybe tell us for the rest of the year, like your words of wisdom, if you will. But meanwhile, okay, Tony, I'm going to repeat what TIDE stands for. It was it thankfulness, Ryan? And then It was intentions.
Yep.
And then delegate.
Yep.
And then what are you going to be exceptional at?
Correct. Yep. So TIDE is an acronym. I'm super big on acronyms, guys. Like it's just how my brain works. So T, thankful or gratitude, kind of similar to me, right? What's 10 things you're thankful for? I, intentions. What are your intentions for the day, Trey? When you leave your door this morning, who are you going to be? Like I put on my sport coat and I become real estate Ryan because I used to be DJ Ryan. I have to come up with a name for myself. This is like my superhero coat. I'm real estate Ryan. See, I used to wear a suit and tie, guys, because I doubted myself because I was just a DJ. I wore a suit and tie every day. And my rule was I'm going to wear this every day until I close 100 deals. Once I closed 100 deals, I felt like I was good enough. That was all BS anyways, right? Because I'm good enough anyways. Books. Oh, books. I got some good ones for you guys. The Compound Effect is probably one of my favorites as far as like getting started and picking up and gaining and keeping momentum. The Compound Effect. Like I said earlier, I get up early and I like the early hours. I find there's magic in the darkness of the early hours. So the 5 a.m. club is a good one. I used to be a reggae DJ, guys, so my memory's not the best. And Jim Quick wrote a really helpful book called Limitless. That is just a really good book on how to learn better, how to read better. And two books that I love that are just kind of before business was The Way of the Peaceful Warrior and The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And then one of my best friends has cancer right now, and a group of 5 of us have created what we call the Activated Forces Group. And we're just like overboard passionate about health and wellness and all the weird supplements and UV lighting and all these weird things out there. And I heavily study a doctor named Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I think he's one of the coolest people in the world. I highly recommend his studies. He wrote a book called The Placebo Effect. He wrote a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. But my favorite book of his is called Becoming Supernatural. Because he talks about using your mind to literally control your future.
Oh, I love that.
You may have heard me say in my intentions that I'm happy, healthy, free of pain. I'm training a lot right now and I'm always freaking sore. And so I have to remove that. And the crazy thing is, guys, I've been saying that for 2 weeks and this pain's going away. So I'm able to like control my body with my thoughts. And Joe Dispenza is a big doctor on that. So there's some books. People, Charlie Rocket, Aubrey Marcus, Ben Kinney, Joel Rico, Adelina. Guys, you are so freaking lucky. I don't know if you guys understand this because I didn't even know who Ben and Jeline was. And now looking back, I realize it. But guys, you are so lucky to work with Adelina and our Texas team. She is like one of the most amazing people I have ever met and business leaders. So most of you probably haven't been at another brokerage or with another place, and you might not even like realize it, but you guys have it really good working with Adelina. So study her, ask her questions, right? Follow her, to pick her brain and give back. That's the last thing, guys, is give back. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is just my 7 principles, and then I'm out of here. I know we're over time. Number one, guys.
Can you hold 1 second? Let's answer. I've got one question from Jacob.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jacob, you're up, man.
You kind of made it sound like, when you're doing your follow-ups, you're asking for permission almost. You ever just get a little bit of a nugget from somebody? Maybe you're not able to keep them on the phone, but you hear like a little bit of a nugget and then call them back. And like, how do you kind of overcome that initial awkwardness where they may not remember you making that second call or from that first call, but you remember all that stuff about the first call?
Yeah, so I go right into it and I would just say, hey, Jacob, it's Ryan with the Ben Kinney real estate team. No pause, no break, but super slow. And so that they can understand me. They understood the first part. Good morning, Jacob. This is Ryan with the Ben Kinney real estate team. Hey, I was just giving you a quick follow-up call because we spoke a couple weeks ago and you mentioned ... fill in the notes. Right? We take such good notes in Brevity that it's pretty easy. So when I call somebody in a couple weeks, I got the notes right there. When I'm on the dialer, I just pull up those notes. And I know in my head, I have a little bit of a segue into it. And that gives me my think time and my plan time. Jacob, it's Ryan with the Ben Kinney real estate team. And I was giving you a call because while I'm saying that, I'm pulling up your notes. And
I love how you're slowing that down just so that it doesn't feel awkward. I like that.
Yeah, we really practice. I make people feel awkward and I say, Joseph, slower. When we're reading our scripts, I say slower. Okay, now go as slow as you possibly can until it feels awkward. And then we do that like 5 times. And then I say, okay, perfect. Now find the middle of that.
I like that. All right. Your 7 principles ready for you, bud.
Last thing, guys, I just want to leave you with these because this is kind of like my notes for the last 6 years. First thing, we got to follow our dreams. You see this mind map behind me? That's my dreams. We got to follow our dreams. Let nothing get in our way. but do we know what our dreams are? Do we know what our goals are, right? So do we think big enough to know what our dreams are? Number one, follow your dreams. Number two, guys, when you're going through hell, keep going. Just keep going. The light is there on the other side. Just keep going. We never give up. We keep going. Number three, guys, is that the universe rewards action. So we have to take massive action every day. The universe rewards action. Nothing comes lucky, guys. Nothing comes lucky. Number four is think big, start small, and trust the dominoes will fall. Think super big. Like if I had everything perfectly in 5 years, what would that look like? Okay, boom. And now I got to start small. How many calls am I going to make today? Number five, guys, is we got to surround ourselves with winners. Like if we just keep doing what we've always done, we're not going to grow. Hang out with 5 people that are way more successful than you. Surround yourself with winners, right? Last, we got to teach what we preach. That's why I'm always happy to jump on a call like this. I got to teach what I talk about. It keeps me sharp. And then lastly, guys, this one's kind of fun. You got to fall in love with the boring. Because see, we start to get creative. We start to think like, oh my gosh, I've closed 50, 60 deals. Like maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. And in my head, I'm like, nope, just make your calls, Ryan. Just make your calls. Sounds boring to keep doing the same thing, but it keep paying me. So why would I change? So I know I've gone a couple minutes over, guys, but thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I mean, we had 78 people on this call, and gosh, you know, what I love about this group is like we like our agents go through launch and they get trained by their individual teams, right? And I was talking to somebody yesterday, to someone that's thinking about joining our company, and they were like, they're with another company now. They're with a local here in Austin, and they're like, yeah, I went through this 6-week training and then nothing past that. And I love that we are just so focused on just leveling up every week, right? And it's not anything earth shattering, and it shouldn't be earth shattering, right? It's just a reminder of what's important, and a reminder of what we need to do to succeed. And hearing somebody's story, and nobody's life is harder than somebody else's, right? Like it's not a comparison. It's just, you know what, just keep at it. Just keep at it. So I really, really freaking appreciate you coming on and taking time at 6:30 in the morning, your time.
Absolutely. My pleasure, guys. I'm happy to do it anytime. I'll give you guys my phone number if you want to write it down. You can call me or text me if you want to talk about whatever. You want to talk about morning routine or health and wellness, I'm good with that. If you want to talk about the opportunity model of starting your business from nothing and working up to some deals, to then hiring somebody, to then leading a team, we can talk about that too. My cell phone number is 206-227-5487. 206-227-5487. realestateryan@benkinneyteam.com.
Boom. I love that. I love that so much. You guys, coming up, we have next week we'll do awards for April, because we had a killer April. I'm very excited about that. And then I have our special guest next week is Elizabeth Alcott from Napa, and she's going to speak on luxury and negotiation. So that'll be one you don't want to miss. And then after that, I think I've got a couple more speakers. So it's going to be a good month. It's going to be a good month. May is so important. You guys, we are 18 weeks into this year. That's like 33% of the year is done, right? The first 1/3, you were like really like setting up your year. The second 1/3 is really important to just nail this year, right? And then the last 1/3, you're starting to work for the next year, right? So we want to make sure that like we're really engaged during this time, and really like we come on here and we get excited, and then we go get into action, because what did Ryan say? The universe rewards action, right?
Right.
Guys, have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Ryan.
Bye, y'all. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks, guys.